Charlene of Monaco shakes up the principality with a symbolic reunion that revives the aura of Grace Kelly. A powerful moment, full of emotion and history, that captivates the rock and fascinates people far beyond Monaco. Discover the images, stories, and behind-the-scenes footage of this memorable encounter that resonates like a living legacy. Subscribe, share, and comment to support this channel dedicated to great royal stories. Charlene of Monaco enjoys a symbolic reunion with Grace Kelly, a scene that seems almost surreal and yet which has moved hearts on the rock. In a setting imbued with memory and emotion, the princess paid tribute to the woman who, more than 40 years after her tragic death, continues to reign in the collective imagination as a timeless icon. To understand the significance of this moment, we must revisit the story of Grace Kelly, the actress turned princess, the woman who brought Monaco worldwide fame and who remains, even today, the soul of the princely palace. Charlene, long in the background, is now returning to the forefront and forging a direct link with the legacy of her late mother-in-law, a gesture of rare symbolic power. The spectators who attended this ceremony or who saw the images were struck by the resemblance in attitude, in gestures, in the way of carrying themselves. Charlene, dressed with measured elegance, seemed to follow in Grace's footsteps, as if to show that history does not fade away, but continues. The discreet applause, the moist glances, the meaningful silences in the room spoke louder than 1,000 words. In this suspended moment, two eras came together, two women whom destiny had placed at the heart of the Monegasque monarchy conversed across time. Since her marriage to Prince Albert II in 2011, Charlene of Monaco has often been compared to Grace Kelly. The criticism has sometimes been harsh, the rumors have abounded, and the princess's absences have fueled questions. Yet, with this initiative, she seems to be taking back control of her narrative, deliberately choosing to follow in the footsteps of a legendary figure. It's not about copying, but about appropriating continuity, telling the people of Monaco and the world, Grace Kelly's legacy lives on, and I am here to carry it forward. This implicit but powerful message has made an impression. It's fascinating to see how Grace Kelly remains a presence in Monaco. Every street, every building, every palace garden still bears her imprint. Her marriage to Prince Rainier III in 1956 transformed the principality into an international media theater. Hollywood moved to the Côte d'Azur, and the image of this Oscar-winning actress turned princess conquered the planet. More than half a century later, this fairy tale still resonates, and Charlene is its new incarnation, aware that her role goes beyond her person to become part of a dynasty of images, symbols, and memories. This symbolic return of Charlene to Grace Kelly is also part of a desire for reconciliation with the Monegasque people. The years of estrangement, the extended medical stays in South Africa, and the persistent rumors of a separation from Albert have left their mark. But the princess now seems determined to write a new page, closer, warmer, more rooted in the traditions of the principality. The choice to turn to Grace is not insignificant. It is a universal language, understood by all, which transcends divisions and unites. Historians and specialists in royal families have not failed to emphasize the strength of this rapprochement. Grace Kelly, beyond her tragic fate, embodied a modernity that, in the 1960s and 1970s, transformed the image of Monaco. By aligning herself with this model, Charlene is not only seeking to win the sympathy of Monegasques, she wants to remind the world that the rock remains a place of living legends. Her discreet smile, her measured gestures and her emotion-filled gaze were enough to convince even the most skeptical that this approach was not a pure media strategy, but rather a sincere attempt to reconnect with a founding figure. The images were broadcast worldwide. They show Charlene reflecting, offering a gesture of remembrance, and also flashing a smile that seemed to send a direct message to Grace. As if saying, I know what you represented, I know what you still represent, and I agree to take on a part of this legacy. This intimate, almost spiritual dimension gives the gesture an unexpected depth. It's no longer simply a matter of one princess paying homage to another, but of a silent dialogue between two destinies linked by the princely palace and a shared history. The reaction of the Monegasques was immediate. Many saw it as a sign of rebirth for Charlene, proof that she is gradually regaining her place within the royal family and in the hearts of the people. In the cafes of the principality, conversations revolved around this apparition. Some older generations spoke with emotion about their memories of Grace, while other younger generations discovered through the media the immense charisma of this princess who passed away too soon. This bridge between generations is precisely what makes Charlene's gesture so powerful. It revives a collective memory while also placing it in the present. Beyond Monaco, the international press widely covered the event. Comparisons between Grace Kelly and Charlene of Monaco were echoed in American, French, Italian, and even Asian newspapers. Fascination with Grace knows no bounds, and Charlene's approach has rekindled interest in the Monegasque monarchy, often overshadowed by other, more high-profile royals. In just a few hours, this symbolism put Monaco back at the center of attention, reminding the world that the Rock is much more than a luxurious setting. It is a stage where timeless stories are played out. Royal communications experts say this moment marks a turning point. Charlene, sometimes perceived as distant, has found a way to reconcile herself with her public image. By placing herself under Grace Kelly's benevolent shadow, she benefits from an immense, almost inexhaustible emotional capital. It is a subtle, but profoundly human, strategy which shows that beyond protocols, royalty lives on symbols and shared feelings. This reappearance was so striking, too, because it opens up new perspectives. What will Charlene do after this milestone? Will she increase initiatives related to Grace's memory? Will she assert herself more as the representative of a cultural and emotional legacy? Or is this a unique moment, intended as a reconciliation but destined to remain exceptional? These questions, currently unanswered, are already fueling debate and analysis. In this modern world where royal families are constantly seeking to reinvent their roles, the example of Charlene of Monaco shows that it is possible to reconnect with the past to better build the future. The image of this symbolic encounter with Grace Kelly will remain etched as a milestone in the recent history of the Rock. And through it, one thing becomes clear. Heritage never disappears, it is transformed, it is passed on, and it lives on through those who agree to embody it. And you, do you think that Charlene of Monaco will succeed in restoring to the principality the magic and global influence that Grace Kelly embodied during her lifetime?